Greetings, Sianamgela guys, Nimbingelele. You guys are welcome to the platform. Thank you for joining me in. Thank you for joining me. Okay, as I promised yesterday that we'll meet again today. And today we are talking about the Madlanga / Mkhwanazi Commission. That was meant to start its work as per the announcement that was made, of course, by retired judge himself, the Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, that the commission had made a public announcement that the commission will start its work on the 1st of September. But of course, as we know, that has not happened and that will not take place anymore. The commission has been delayed because we are told, as per the commission statement, that they could not secure, they had difficulty in procuring and securing a venue. And this is the work that was supposed to be done by the Department of Justice, right? The Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. Meaning this is a department that is responsible for the judicial in this country. You see? So I'm asking you a question, guys, that do you think and believe that the ANC is deliberately sabotaging this commission? Because in any case, the work that will be done by this commission, as per the terms of reference, if you are a regular on this platform, you'll know that I at some point I did a video. Where I was explaining and reading through the terms of reference for this commission. So of all the political parties, because the ANC is still a governing party, as much as it is now co-governing with the DA and others. But the party that is going to be most affected, by this investigation that will be done by this commission and what will be revealed in this commission, it is the ANC. It is the African National Congress that is going to be mostly affected by what will be revealed in this Madlanga / Mkhwanazi Commission. And of course, it's easy to trace that because we also remember what led to this commission. If we go back as to how did this commission come about? This commission came about because of that press briefing, that the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Anc Mkhwanazi, held on the 6th of July, where he dropped files. And of almost people who are affected by what he said, it is the ANC, it is the African National Congress. And we know that subsequent to that, Cyril Ramaphosa has had to suspend, his ally, the police minister, Senzo Mchunu. He has had to put him on a special leave, right? Because of the allegations, right? Because of the allegations that Lieutenant General Anc Mkhwanazi made against him. All right? So Senzo Mchunu is an ANC leader. So the people who are going to be affected, right, mostly by this, it is the ANC, right? It is the African National Congress. So hence it is easy for us to ask the question that, is the ANC trying to sabotage this commission? Okay? It's the ANC trying, right, to sabotage this commission so it does not do its work, right? So we need to ask this question because it's important. How do you explain? Because how many commissions have we had in this country? How many commissions have we had in this country since the day the ANC took over governance in this country? Since the ANC took governance in this country, we've had many commissions of inquiry. Meaning the ANC has gained institutional memory and institutional experience in terms of how to run these commissions and what to do. How do you prepare for the commission to ensure that it is able to start on a set day that it said it's going to start? So we are not dealing with a situation where these are people who do not know how these things work, who can claim that they are still learning the ropes. These are the people who have experienced many commissions under their own administration. So how to now explain that the Department of Justice could not help? Because it is its own task to ensure that this commission has, because it's a judicial commission of inquiry, that it has all that it needs to be able to carry out its work. So that raises the suspicion that there might be a hand there to try to sabotage the commission. You see, so we need to ask this question as citizens. That is the ANC trying to sabotage this commission? And again, also strengthen the point that people have been raised that, but especially people who were rejecting this commission of inquiry. Because remember, Mkhwanazi made allegations against the entire judicial system, the judicial and criminal system. So now you get someone who's a former judge who only retired at the end of July, then gets to be appointed as the chairperson of that commission. Then remember, the judiciary is already implicated in what Mkhwanazi alleges. Again, the people are supposed to provide the tools of trade for the commissions. It is the department that itself, because it's a Department of it's a Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. So the very same people who are implicated in what Mkhwanazi is saying are the very same people who are expected to assist the commission in doing its work. Do you see how strange that it is? You see. So just to take you back to the terms of reference, so you guys can understand why I'm saying the ANC stands to lose the most if this commission continues and all of that. The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, officially gazetted on the 28th of July 2025, is tasked with investigating allegations of corruption within South Africa's law enforcement agencies, particularly focusing on the South African Police Services, the SAPS. The Commission's terms of reference are notably broad, encompassing a comprehensive examination of corruption, criminal syndicates, and potential misconduct among law enforcement officials. The inquiry aims to identify systematic issues, propose reforms, and hold accountable those implicated in unlawful activities. You see? So among the things that it's supposed to do is to investigate corruption, examining allegations of corruption within the South African Police Services and other law enforcement agencies, criminal syndicates, assessing the involvement of law enforcement officials in criminal syndicates such as drug cartels, systematic issues, identifying systematic issues within law enforcement agencies that may facilitate corruption and misconduct, accountability and reform, proposing measures to hold accountable those implicated, right, in unlawful activities and recommending reforms to prevent future misconduct. You see. So then the commission is of course expected to submit an interim report within 3 months. But funny enough, you must understand that the commission was announced on the 13th of July, then gazetted on the 28th of July. Okay? Then the commission announced that it's going to start its work on the 1st of September, but already that is not going to happen. How many? Count from the 6th of July to show that this is just a deliberate strategy of inactivity and inaction by the ANC. Look, from the 6th of July to the 1st of September in the line. Now the fact that even the start date has been pushed back, it means now more months are going by. And the reality is that even the evidence that was there readily available will likely to be destroyed. You see, so the commission is expected to submit an interim report within 3 months of commencing hearings, with the final report due to 6 months. However, the start of the hearing has been delayed due to procurement setbacks. This is where we need to ask the question. Of course, the Minister of Justice has suspended the department's Deputy Director General and other fellows for this. But how do we know that actually these people who deliberately ensure that procurement becomes an issue for this commission, how do we know that they were not serving instruction of their political masters? This is what happens when you allow a situation whereby the people become players and referees at the same time. This is what we have with these so-called commissions. You see, so that's a situation that we are confronted with here. So I'm interested to hear from you guys. Do you think that this is just an innocent, right, an innocent slip up, or there's something sinister behind it? Okay, because what Mkhwanazi revealed, by the way, what Mkhwanazi revealed, it is what most of us who already know and are confronted with in our daily lives as ordinary masses of this country. Okay? Because, simple thing, where we live, if you reside in a township, even in the towns, because we interact with the town and all of that, for the economic activities and stuff, there's this thing. People who sell drugs or drug dealers, people who are dealing in drugs, are well known. And even the spots that they use for the drugs are a public knowledge. But not even once do you ever hear of them being arrested by the police. Even when the police do what is the so-called patrolling, they'll just drive by from the very same areas that are known to be doing that. Even if a public member, because we are always encouraged that we must assist the police, report these things and all of that. Even if a public member does that, no arrest is effected. Whereby an arrest is effected, then we are likely to see that person back on the streets. Very same person who was arrested for drug dealing and all of that. It is because those people have bought themselves protection. They have bought themselves protection from the very same people who are supposed to maintain law and order. That is the South African Police Service. You see, another allegation that Mkhwanazi raised, it is that of politicians who are in the pockets of criminal syndicates. Now, if you've got such a situation of politicians, political leaders, whereas those who are within the governing structures finding themselves in the pockets, of the criminal syndicates, what do you expect out of that? Because it means even in terms of the policy, the articulation, in everything that these so-called leaders do, they do it so as to advance and defend the interests of those who are funding them. Because you must understand, these criminal syndicates fund the political careers and ambitions of these greedy politicians. You see, because these politicians, because again, the political system in this country is expensive to run for elections. It's even worse now because it has even been taken into the internal politics of the organizations, whereby for people to run for leadership positions within their own organizations, now money even becomes part of the processes. The 2017 Nasrec conference of the African National Congress, where Cyril Ramaphosa bought the conference, funded by the white monopoly capital and others, is a prime example of how money and money from criminal syndicates can easily find itself within the political system and then begin to control things within the political system. Because there's no free lunch. That is what has to be said quite loud and clearly. There is no free lunch. Those who are funded by these people, they know very well that there are conditions. There are conditions attached to that funding. You see? So then how do you then at the end of the day expect, like Frantz Fanon said, that post liberation, there's a stage whereby even the simple policeman becomes corrupt because the rod starts from the head. How do you expect those who are leading, how do you expect those who are leading to be able to provide a good example to their subordinates when they themselves as leaders are implicated in these things? You look at the fact that there's emerging about the former police minister Bheki Cele and his close relations with one controversial businessman from Gauteng, Vusi Matlala, whereby there's even records that have been revealed that Bheki Cele, before the arrest of Vusi Matlala, had made 10 calls to Vusi Matlala. You then ask yourself the question, what was the drive and the motive behind those calls? What informed those calls? What informed the need to make those calls? And what is it that was being relayed? You see, then even now with the current police minister who has been put on special leave, it is called the leave of absence, Senzo Mkhwanazi. What Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi revealed in that press briefing, that you've got people who are business people and people who have got nothing to do with the police work, but they know the intimate details of the South African police services, the intimate details and information that is only meant for those who are within that system. You see, now you ask yourself, how do these people access that information? The likes of Brown Mokgotsi, Kat Matlala and others, Katie Molefe and others, it is because it is these people, these dodgy characters, business people, it is them who are funding these political leaders, these greedy political leaders. So they control them. It means those people who we think are leaders, who we think all the time they act at our best interest, they actually there to serve the interest of those few individuals who fund them and control them. So it becomes very difficult for them to can be able to reprimand, the ordinary police on the ground. Greetings, John Boy Walton. Thank you for joining. It's a simple answer, yes. You see, because it is even very difficult for those who may have a different view to what I'm advancing others to put across a compelling argument, because there's a pattern here. There's a pattern that you can tell and see, but this is something that is being deliberately done, of course, to advance the nefarious interest So I was raising the point that you cannot expect the ordinary police or official of government on the ground to behave, to be anti-corruption, to be ethical, when they know that their leaders, their superiors are involved and engaged in nefarious activities. And sadly, at the end of the day, it is us, the ordinary masses, who end up being at the firing ground. You see, we find ourselves being caught in this. Because one thing about that I have realized, it is that those who fund these politicians, or those who've got close connection and proximity to the political leaders, their arrogance is something else. They have no regard for anyone because they know that they've paid for protection. They know they control the people who are supposed to ensure that there's law and order in the country. And this also brings us to a very disappointing and disheartening point to say, I don't understand this. These people who are deployed in government, despite all the benefits that comes with being public servants, to an extent that even some of these officials, they live in the government's houses, meaning you don't have to pay rent or any bonds, right? You can pay a bond for your own house and even rent it to someone else, meaning you don't even get to feel that you're paying the bond, number one. They get state vehicles. If not, then they get subsidized for vehicles. And all these other benefits, medical and all of those things. Now, those people, there are people who even earn around 80,000, even more than that, right? Because when I'm saying 80,000, I'm talking about an ordinary MP. But these officials, they earn even above 100,000 to 200,000. Now, you ask yourself, why do they still feel the need to engage themselves in these nefarious activities? As I drink my water, guys, you need to drink water. It's healthy. So you ask yourself the question that, why do they have to do that? What kind of greed is this? What kind of greed is this that drives them to do this kind of things that they do? Because it cannot be that they do this from their position of need. No, it is not from a position of need. You see. So it is something that we really have to be worried about. And to an extent that even ask the question that, can the law and regulations be enough to curb this? Because some of the things talk to even a person themselves. How ethical are you? Because remember, integrity, being ethical and having integrity, it is a situation whereby you are able to do what is right even when no one is looking. Where you are able to do what is right even when there's no one looking. Meaning we are not doing it because we want the applause, but we are doing it because your conscience tells you that it's the right thing to do. Whereby your conscience must be able to reprimand you. Your conscience must be able to reprimand you when you are doing the wrong. But unfortunately, we find ourselves in a situation whereby the leaders, and of course, these leaders are a product of a society. But to see how this thing works, this society produces this kind of leaders. Then at the end of the day, there's some society now starts looking up to the same leaders that produces more and more of this kind of people. The type of people who have long subordinated their conscience. You know, they say that when your conscience leaves you, when your conscience divorces you, it does not say goodbye. It does not give a warning. We will only see through your own conduct. We'll only see through your own conduct that your conscience has long left you. So that's the matter I wanted to address today, guys, and get your other views on the matter, guys. So thank you for tuning in, guys. My name is Mkhwanazi. The name of the platform is Izwi Labansundu, the voice for Africans. Please, guys, help me grow this platform. There's various ways that can help me to grow this platform. Firstly, by subscribing. After subscribing, guys, please make sure you click on the notification bell. So each time I publish a video, you will then receive a notification. And please make sure you watch that video. Another way, guys, by joining to become a paying member, can contribute 20 rands or more to the platform. Another way, guys, by make sure that you watch the ads that play on this video. You do not skip any of the ads, because that's another way for the platform to earn the revenue. Then lastly, another way, guys, it is by buying us the super thanks and even sharing this video on the social media platforms, guys, because we are trying to build alternative platforms away from the mainstream media, because you would understand that the mainstream media and the complications that come from that comes with the regulation there and all of that, that it is meant to silence people. So Melanie Powers and the ANC are protecting the criminals. I mean, I cannot argue against that. I honestly cannot argue against that. And you see, the reason that the ANC will go out of its way to protect these criminals, it is because the very same criminals are funding their lavish lifestyles. You'd find that some of these ANC leaders, they live beyond their means. It means the kind of lifestyle that they live cannot be sustained by merely the wages that they earn as public servants. That's how then they fall into a trap. Because even for those who are looking to corrupt leaders, they always look for those who love lavish things, those who love fleshy things. It is something that is public knowledge that any person who loves fleshy things is more susceptible to be corrupted. Because for you to be able to access and maintain that kind of lifestyle, it means you ought to have deep pockets. So in a situation where your pockets cannot give you that lifestyle, that is where these criminal elements and syndicates come into play. They will fund you because they know that they are investing. As I've already said, that there's no free lunch here. There's no such thing as a free lunch. They know that they're investing and they'll expect the returns. They, of course, expect returns on their investment. You see. So it means that in the process, we as the people, we are the ones who are electing you. We elect you on a mandate to advance our interests and defend our interests. But actually, you are not taking the mandate from us. You are taking the mandate from those who are funding you. You see? Meaning, you work against us, the very same people who put you there in those positions. And this rot has now gone even to the administration. It's no longer just about people who are holding political offices, but even people who are doing the administration work have fallen into this thing. Sadly, they've also fallen into this thing. You see, that's our painful reality that we are confronted with, guys. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in and staying with me, guys. Then we'll meet again on Friday. Not on Friday, on Monday, the 1st of September, if my schedule allows. This is what we're going to be doing, guys, from Monday until Friday at 1 o'clock, guys. Let's meet here on this platform, Izwi Labansundu, and this segment, I've termed it Lunchtime with Mkhwanazi. So we're discussing different topical issues. On Monday, guys, we're going to be talking about the corporal punishment, the banning of corporal punishment from our schools. Do you guys support that? If you guys support that, why? If you do not support the banning of corporal punishment, and why? Because I've witnessed something that is very painful of the discipline that is now lacking in our schools. Especially I'm talking about the black schools here. So that's what we're going to be talking about on Monday. Thank you guys for tuning in. Siyabonga ma Africa.